Coming up on Here's the Truth, a dire scene abroad striking the hearts of many in the Twin Cities. Hear from community as they speak out on the Israel Palestine War. Then a grieving community rallies in support of a Black mother and poet gone too soon. Plus, buckle up for a joyride with Ricki Monique. Here's the Truth starts right now. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm independent journalist Georgia Fort. We begin with community responding to a gruesome war overseas. We've seen at least a dozen protests take place over the Twin Cities since the war between Palestine and Israel erupted. At last count, over 5,000 lives have been taken, with nearly half of them being children. Even with the battleground being thousands of miles away, many people feel compelled to speak out. That's this week's top story.
When do we want ceasefire? When do we want it? Tomorrow!
Cries for peace ringing through the metro from thousands in community.
Tomorrow! Tomorrow! Now! Now!
This comes in the middle of an ongoing humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip. The war started after a bloody aerial attack by Hamas, Palestine's leading political group, on October 7th.
From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free!
Now the area is reeling a relentless Israeli bombing campaign, which they believe is a counter-terrorism effort.
Yesterday, Israel threatened to bomb my grandma's home if they didn't evacuate. She said they will stay. If we die, we will die in our home, together and on our land.
Zionism does not stand for Judaism. Zionists do not speak for all of us. This is not something we can have done in our name. There are other Jewish narratives. There are other Jewish ways of being. There always have been and there always will.
Money for schools, money for water.
Money for schools, money for water.
Israel, stop the slaughter.
At last count, over 5,000 Palestinians have been killed and at least 1 million others have been displaced while being deprived of basic needs.
We stand in support of people in Palestine having the right to electricity, the right to food, the right to water, and the right to life.
We really honor how much grief is in the air.
Tensions have come to a boiling point after decades of strife, dating back to the First World War, where British leaders declared Palestine the national home of Jewish people.
The Zionist entity operates with impunity. They've been in consistent violation of international humanitarian laws for 75 years and have never been held accountable.
Over the years, multiple Arab and Zionist revolts, wars, and violence have left a trail of destruction. Many demonstrators are calling the Israeli attacks an attempt at genocide and ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians.
We know that thousands of bombs being dropped on Gaza right now, including the one Israel dropped on a hospital yesterday, are paid for by our federal tax dollars.
Our deep desire for a future, for Olam Haba, for the world to come, where Zionism and apartheid are no more.
According to officials, nearly half of the people killed this month have been children.
We have seen children crying for their mothers under the rubble.
Several government officials have backed Israel in the war,
We are gathered here today because our representatives have failed us.
including President Joe Biden, who visited Israel to double down on his administration's support.
I'm proud to be here. Thank you.
The horrors that Israel has unleashed in Gaza have come with a wave of disgusting statements from nearly every U.S. politician and major media outlet.
A move several community members have debunked.
What is the inhumane in us that we as a country cannot call for ceasefire? This moment will define this nation.
It's a hot-button issue that spilled into the roadways near Loring Park. Witnesses say a man drove through their crowd with a knife and confronted protesters. A gunshot was also reported but not confirmed. MPD officials say they have launched an investigation, but so far, no arrests.
Hey, watch out!
The incident is an eerie reminder of similar instances in the past. Once in 2020, when a trucker drove through hundreds on 35 after the murder of George Floyd.
That's the driver.
And another time in 2021 where a man killed Deanna Marie with his car. She was protesting with several others after the killing of Winston Smith.
If we fight.
Despite the cautionary tales, demonstrators believe flooding the streets is crucial in their fight for justice here and overseas.
If it doesn't hurt in your heart to see that we're all the same, then you're not going to go ahead and make a difference. It's not going to make a difference if it's not in your heart.
A black woman in Duluth is having to both recover and seek justice after claiming she was brutally attacked by two white men. Now, we do have to warn you, the images you're about to see are graphic and may be triggering for some. According to family, Michelle Folson has been diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury and post-concussion syndrome after being beaten, kicked in the head, and dragged outside a bar in Duluth. According to local police, the case was handed over to the St. Louis County Attorney's Office, who decided against pursuing charges. However, the Duluth City Attorney's Office has charged both men with misdemeanor fifth-degree assault. Two other women who are involved are not being prosecuted. The family believes the bar never intervened and did not call police. Michelle's currently being represented by the NAACP Duluth chapter and has launched a GoFundMe to cover her medical expenses. This week, a grieving community rallied in support of a black mother and poet.
The standard of beauty kicked us out from after creating the framework, the skin we didn't see in beauty aisles or beauty queens, the kind
A benefit concert was held at the Capri Theater in North Minneapolis for the children of Brittany Delaney. Several singers, dancers, musicians, and poets performed in the family's honor. Since her diagnosis over 10 years ago, Brittany suffered 3 strokes, countless seizures, and numerous hospital stays as she battled lupus. She's remembered as a community pillar in the local art scene. For over 2 decades, her courageous spoken word poetry and leadership at Black Table Arts touched the lives of many. Brittany is survived by her son and daughter. She was 33 years old. Turning now to Brooklyn Center, the family of Dante Wright is remembering the birthday of the young man they called son, brother, and father. Dante was shot and killed during a traffic stop in 2021 by former officer Kim Potter. Dante would have turned 23 yesterday if he were still with us. Still to come, a woman is using her own journey to let others know they're not alone. Coming up, how she's using social media to change the narrative on mental health. Plus, buckle up for a joyride with poetic rapper Ricki Monique. That's next on Here's the Truth. This commercial break is powered by U.S. Bank's Access Commitment Initiative. U.S. Bank is building Black wealth by uplifting and supporting Black-owned businesses like these.
Papa Legba's Lounge is home to musical legends of the past. Papa Legba offers a place for mature audiences to relax and unwind with signature cocktails inspired by legendary musicians. Papa Legba brings extraordinary soul music to the Twin Cities and provides local talent a platform to showcase their music. Check out our website for weekly performances at papalegba.lounge.com.
TNT Academy is the ultimate performance recovery program focused on football skills training, strength and conditioning, and overall mentorship for young men. With our exclusive training program, you'll learn all the secrets of our top athletes to ensure that you're always one step ahead of the competition. We take an innovative approach to focus on injury prevention. We work with all levels, youth all the way up to the pros. For more information, visit tntacademysp.com.
At Reviving Roots, we celebrate Black joy because the mental health journey can feel overwhelming, difficult, and even shameful at times. Reviving Roots is a Black-centered and Black-affirming holistic mental health and wellness space in the heart of Minneapolis. While we offer mental health therapy, we believe in a holistic approach to wellness, addressing the whole person by providing a variety of tools and resources. We're here to support our community in living their truth. Learn more at www.reviving-roots.com.
Here's the Truth is sponsored by MediaBridge, a media, data, and creative agency who believes the best strategy is to care. For more information, MediaBridgeAdvertising.com.
With my process, I just try to garner like actual emotions and use like instances where my actual emotions come out, and then use that to make content.
Conversations around mental health are still evolving and very taboo in many spaces in our community. That's why one woman is doing her part to educate and break down stigmas on social media. This week, Brittany Davis shares her intimate journey with borderline personality disorder and ADHD. Take a look.
Hey, my name is Brittany Davis, and welcome to this space. I have BPD, and I also have ADHD as well. We are talking about BPD today and what it's like to live with BPD. So just make sure that you guys are being respectful. Some people actually think that BPD is bipolar, that those are one of the same, but they're not. Usually it's marked by unstable relationships and unstable moods. And it's not a something like what they used to call multiple personality disorder. It's not multiple personalities. It's one personality, one person with a lot of different mood swings. But when it comes to friends and relationships, I have told people that I have BPD. And if people follow me on social media, they're pretty well aware because I talk about it a lot. Sometimes being neurodivergent is sitting on the couch and minding your own business when all of a sudden you hear a voice tell you, "How do you live with yourself? Don't you feel guilty all the time?" And you think to yourself, she's right. And you start thinking about all the things that have ever made you feel guilty. But instead of letting that get you down today, you breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you tell that voice to, "Shut up, bitch." I was really scared to talk about BPD specifically online. Like I didn't want to talk about it. And it was actually my fiance's old coworker. I went to them and I was just like, "Hey, do you want to talk about like BPD? I'm writing an article on it." And they were like, "Well, yeah." And they're like, "Well, aren't you going to talk about it?" And I was just like, "I'm not comfortable with that." And they said, "Why?" And I don't know why that specific why stuck out to me, but I was just like, yeah, like why am I not being authentic? Why am I scared of telling people? Why do I keep caring about what other people think? And I've cared about what people think of me like my whole life. And so for me, it was therapeutic to start making content about BPD because then it was kind of overcoming a fear for me, which was nice. I was doing this like back and forth talking to my inner child type video, and I started crying. And then like a couple of my friends and my fiance watched it and they're like, "You know what? I cried when I watched that," you know, because it was more authentic and it was more me, because when I use my voice authentically, things come out the right way. I would tell her, one, that she's not alone, and that even though she feels alone right now, she won't always feel alone. And then I would tell her that, you know, like, as she gets older, life still will get harder, but it's okay because she'll have a lot of community to support her. That's what I'd say. So there are a lot of things that go into me managing my emotions. Where do I do my breathing at? It depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I do it on the floor because it's a little bit more grounding on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 now. Hold for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale on 8. When I do like a normal inhale, exhale breath, usually my mind goes to just like the word focus, focus, calm, calm over and over again. It kind of feels like you're letting go of like some of the things you're holding on to in a way. So you're taking in a lot of the outside world, a lot of what's going on. And then with the exhale, you're letting go of all those things. My DBT skills diary cards come from either the Borderline Personality Workbook or they come from just the regular DBT workbook. And what I do is every day I will put down like the different, the different areas. So like, urge to commit suicide, 0 to 5, 0. Today, self-harm, 0. Use of drugs, 0. And so what you're gonna do is really you just go through and then you just put down like how your moods are tracking each day, what made you feel the certain ways you felt. And so then later on you can look back and kind of like recognize your patterns. When I get really busy and when when I have a lot that I'm doing, then I end up like not focusing as well on this, which can be a problem because these are the kind of things that are gonna get me to my goal. And so when I overextend myself and I do too much, then, I get further away from healing. And that's like a good lesson for everyone is don't make yourself so busy that you forget about some of your healing practices. With people with borderline personality disorder and bipolar, there's like a higher level of cortisol in the brain, which is the stress chemical. So green tea, it's very good for, just cleansing out the body. I come in from a stressful day. Usually I use a mix of 2 different teas. And so when I get stressed, I get really stressed and I do feel it in my whole body. So I feel it in my back, I feel it in my neck, like my heart starts pounding very fast. And then like my whole body turns into like a furnace almost. And that's when I get angry too. And so those kind of things are bothersome in itself. I'm still growing as a person, like there are still other things outside of like these things on paper that I'm doing to just kind of change as a person and just kind of grow. I have a lot of inner dialogue, so I've figured out a lot of ways to just manage it and make it like more of an inner dialogue where if I'm stressed, if I'm upset, if I'm angry, it's more inward and so people don't notice as much. My message would be, especially to the Black community, because that's the community I make a lot of my content for, is that we have to stop stigmatizing each other. We have to stop talking about the crazy auntie. It's something that deeply affects our community. We already have the chips stacked against us in a lot of ways, but we don't have to be calling each other crazy or just like not taking each other's like needs or feelings seriously.
Coming up, buckle up for a joyride with poetic rapper Ricki Monique.
It's that music in my body, this creating make me free. I'ma look up, Mama said keep your chin up.
10 years ago, I chopped off my hair to experience the way it grows out of my scalp. Now, Nature Syrup has moved from my kitchen to the Macy's marketplace. That's right, you can buy Nature Syrup at Macy's.com.
Are you not confident in your smile? Well, we have a plan for you. Here at Code White Teeth Whitening, we are here to help you reach your smile goals. We're offering up to 70% off your commitment. Now that's something to smile about. Book your session today at codewhitesmile.com and always remember to keep smiling.
3 years ago, COVID-19 forced our entire world to stop. Even as we adjust to a new society, the fight against the virus continues. That's why the Minnesota Department of Health is urging you to get the updated COVID-19 vaccine that's FDA approved. It's specifically designed to combat the latest variants and available for everyone aged 6 months and older. Worried about the cost? Free or low-cost vaccines are available. Just check in with your clinic before scheduling. Don't have insurance? We got you. Just contact your nearest community health center. Corona is still around, so keep yourself and your people safe. Together, we can win this fight.
It's time. Time for America's promises to Black and Brown Minnesotans to be fulfilled. It's time for us to equitably share in the wealth of our nation. That's why the Center for Economic Inclusion was created, to embolden employers to invest in Black and Brown-owned businesses and to leverage our talent to bring wealth into our community. The Center for Economic Inclusion measures what works, and we hold leaders accountable. The time is now. Build with us. Visit us online at centerforeconomicinclusion.org.
High pace, no tension. They biting off the craft just to make a few million. I exist as a creative. What I make, I feel it.
Ricki Monique's sound is what you get when you blend smooth melodies and poetry. In this week's Joyride, she shares how she uses her music to hold space and amplify the experiences of Black women. Take a look.
What was it like for you when Immortal hit 1 million streams on Spotify?
I was very excited about it. I think like once it hit the 900,000, we were like, okay, we're gonna hit 1 million. The million streams was awesome, but it didn't really change much for me, I feel like.
Yeah, that's real. How would you describe your music?
I would describe my music as hip hop, but make it jazz. So it's very much jazz, neo-soul influence, hip-hop music. Very much storyteller from the perspective of a Black girl from Minnesota.
Yeah, I like that. Can you give us like some background on where we're at and why it's significant?
Yeah, so we're at North High School. My parents worked at North and my sisters went to school here, but I grew up very heavily in this school. North was a beautiful place for me to learn about finding community. And I also learned what it looks like to be in a community of Black people who are just coexisting. And like I learned a lot about the diversity within Blackness at this school. They have beautiful art facilities within this building, so I learned a lot about like recording music, dance, movement, discipline specifically around like art and how that can be applied to like real life.
You said something that really stood out to me, like the discipline of art. Can you expand on that?
There is a poet, I cannot think of her name right now, I'm so sad. She has this video that she posted on her Instagram and she talked about the difference between being a disciplined artist and an inspired artist. An inspired artist, when they feel inspired, they create. And when they're not feeling inspired, they don't. Versus a disciplined artist is somebody who makes sure that they're practicing at a consistent level so that they can get better at their craft. And she talked about finding the balance between both being inspired and being disciplined.
So we're here at the A-Mill Artist Loft where everything started with Tangible Collective. For people who are not familiar, what is Tangible Collective?
It's a Black-centered space for artists and creators to expand their practice.
Do you ever like think about the impact that you and Zinnia have had on like so many artists' careers?
Not often. I think when people reference it or like tell us, like we're so honored that we got the opportunity to like be a part of that community. Because that inspired me. I wouldn't be where I am with music if it weren't for Tangible.
Absolutely.
You know.
Why is holding space for your people something that's important to you?
I think it's interesting because over the years, I think that answer has changed for me. But at the beginning, it was important just for me. I just wanted a place that felt like home for me and for me to build community with other artists. Black folks deserve niches. Black folks deserve deserve to have moves in multiple places that they can go and they feel comfortable. And I think it's just important for me to be able to be a part of that.
Big dreams, big hate, big talent, big weight, meditate. Guess it's some privilege in this way. Still had to fight off conditioning.
Do you ever have to overcome self-doubt about your music or your artistry?
Often. Yeah, a lot, honestly. My urge to create quiets the doubt, but I have doubt all the time.
Yeah, it never fully goes away.
No. Has it gone away for you? Or like someone who's been really supporting me on my journey to like figuring out how to quiet those voices is V-Bohem. She has this thing where it's like she'll put a timer on it for 7 minutes. You have to just write and your pencil can't stop. And that has really helped me with like oh, this is where my doubt is coming from.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, it's someone else's idea.
Yeah. What do you want to leave people with?
I would love for like people to just walk away from this feeling empowered to embrace everything that they are and be as expansive as they want and change paths as often as they want, and that their joy is the most important thing. Your biggest flex is your happiness. I'm just trying to feel some. I'm just trying to feel.
All my friends have bled, let me back again. Dark out all my thoughts, where I self-deprecate instead. Wrapped up on my rocks and now I wear them around my neck. Put myself in spots, I pray I'm never back again. I swear I'm softer when I'm stoned and alone hit. Better look popping by the messages, they all been delivered.
Thanks so much for watching Here's the Truth. To support our weekly TV show, head over to georgiafort.com and become a monthly subscriber. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday at 11. Next week on Here's the Truth, a $5 million allocation to redevelop a Brooklyn Park community center causes controversy. Coming up, what officials and community leaders want to see done. Then a nonprofit's pledge turns into big smiles. How Age Well at Home is ensuring our seniors are living safe with dignity. Plus, buckle up for a joyride with Jandeltha Ray. Watch Here's the Truth Saturdays at 11 on the CW Twin Cities.
At Nail Partners, we prioritize people. We understand how real estate can unlock a community's aspirations. From the very beginning of a project to its completion, we create space for collaboration. By bringing people together from all walks of life, we're able to build a shared vision that benefits everyone. Because if we want stronger, healthier communities, everyone deserves a seat at the table. Nail Partners, built for community.
Your home for hip-hop and R&B.
We the best!
Power 104.7, where old school meets new school.
Confluence, a cultured multiverse, a 2-day Comic-Con experience. A celebration of art, sci-fi, futurisms, and fandoms.
Buy-in for Black people, Indigenous people, and people of color.
We got creative workshops, panel discussions, a cosplay contest, vendors, a gaming area, a visual art exhibition, and more. It's a place to see and be seen, connect, and get free.
You can find out more information and buy tickets at publicfunctionary.org/confluence-MN.
We know what it means to be food insecure. We know that families struggle day in and day out, and that's why we built this ecosystem to end everyday hunger and fight food insecurity.
This is community-led, and 100% of the profits go right back to the community to providing more food. This is why we show up. This is why we keep going. This is why we love what we do.
Together, we can end food insecurity in St. Paul and bring dignity to everyone's plate.